is where we're sitting. And there's Mom. Somewhere up there are your friends. I think they're getting on right now. See, Dad, we haven't even left the country yet, and Mom's already shopping. This is Denver Airport. We're landing in New York now. Right over the water. This is making Mom really comfortable. Let's see how comfortable she is. We'll do a close-up. There. There's water in the background we're flying over. You can imagine how Mom's loving this. Hear the wheels go down? Just a little nervous. I'm getting a picture of the ocean. We're in New York, and this is the airplane we're going to take to Greece. I'm going to go find Mom without her seeing me. She's going crazy already. The top of her hair. There she is. There you go. Over the Swiss Alps. Isn't that incredible? Wow. Beautiful. It's just beautiful. There's Mom. She's out. Taking the tram over to the airport. This is a view from our room. I have no idea what the bell is.
What's that noise?
I have no idea.
What, is it a bird?
I don't think so.
Where's the motorcycle?
Look at how they have the laundry. Dave, doesn't that remind you of Italy? And this is our room. Oh, here you go. That's me. This is our bathroom. Oh, there's me again. Okay, tell me your name now.
Dave Schumacher.
Dave Schumacher.
Karen Schumacher.
Schumacher.
Susan Hall.
Phil Hall.
And?
Mom.
And Mom. These are our tour guides here. Show us what to do.
This is in Plaka in Greece, in Athens, in the city of Athens.
Now I see a red.
Okay, that's on. You're filming.
And then I push, where do I push it? To film.
You're filming. Right now it's on.
Well, you.
Now it is. Now it's on.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hello. We're at the flea market in Athens, Greece. This is the flea market in Athens, Greece, and there's Mom. He's stopping. We're just leaving the flea market now. Mom and I are not in the mood to buy anything, if you can believe that.
Is that where we're sitting?
No, we were right over there. We had lunch over there with one of the hierarchies of the company. The tomb of the unknown soldiers in there. Oh, hello. We're standing downtown Athens.
Take your life in your own.
They're crossing from all angles. Not slowing down to do it. But she just had an accident. And there it goes. Lunch. He's going to take us back to the Hilton. This is at the Athens Hilton, Dad.
Done a great job with this, and I think we ought to give them a hand. They have really done a real good job. And I'm not going to take time to mention all their names. I think Robert may introduce them a little later, but beyond that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure for us to be with you, and we wish you well. You've got some good trips.
This is the oldest capital city in Europe. in the Western world is more than 1,000 years older than the city of Rome, and perhaps is the oldest existing capital city all over the world, because there is no any more Memphis or Babylon, that capital cities that are older than the city of Athens. I'm not talking the oldest city, I'm talking of the oldest capital city. Because Jericho, for instance, as a city is older than the city of Athens, but it was never, or Ur in Mesopotamia, older than the city of Athens. But I'm talking as a capital city. The life in Athens has continued more than 3,000 years. Glorious moments, moments of decadence, but never stop the life in here. Excellent climate, very good climate, dry climate. It means, to let you understand, I speak in Fahrenheit, very rare in the middle of July or beginning of August the temperature comes to 100, 95 to 100. That's extremely warm for us, but very rare comes to 32. You can see, this is why you can see a lot of orange trees, lemon trees, because if the temperature will come under the 32, these trees they cannot live. Is the highest, and 4 mountains. This is the name Lykavitos, and on the very top there is a beautiful Byzantine period church dedicated to the name of Saint George. It's walking distance from your hotel to find the entrance of a funicular, it means of a lift, but through a tunnel is leading you way up to the top. It has a beautiful panoramic view. Mulberry trees. They use the leaves of these trees as an excellent food for the silkworms. You have in the States the statue of Harry Truman. Historic 600 years, but unfortunately, as we say in Greece, Coca-Cola won. On the very, very left, you can see the remains, the ruins of the, we call it Zapion, and on the left the remains of the largest temple in Athens, the temple of the Olympian Zeus, Corinthian or Christ. And exactly in the very right is a statue of well-known English poet. It was made by one well-known Roman emperor with the name Hadrian. The Hadrian's Gate, as we call it. Exactly here, but very much in ruins, is the oldest theater in the world history. 600 years before Christ is the theater of Dionysus. So the history of the theater starts from here.
Wow.
Very important performance name.
This is the olive tree?
No, this is a cypress tree.
Cyprus.
Oh, I was going to say.
Synthetic word. From the word acro, that means the highest part, and in English you have the Greek word acrophobia, the fear of the high, and from the Greek word poli, P-O-L-I, that means the city. This is why when we say Indianapolis, we mean the city of India. When we say Neapoli, Naples in Italy means the new city. Constantinople, the city of Constantinople. So in Greek language, poli means the city. Because of this Greek word, we have the word the politics, the politicians, the affairs in the city. We have the word police, that means the guards of the city. So, but Acropolis in Greek language means a fortress. It's the highest part of the city because in the ancient times, for protection, all the cities that were built round of one hill. Round of the city, were the walls of the city, but when the enemies they were jumping or they were breaking the walls, the last defense was on the Acropolis. It was the last defense. In Greek language, they call it Acropolis. In Latin, they call it citadel. We think for the Acropolis of Athens. Yes, Even every ancient city was around on a hill under one Acropolis because of three very important reasons. The first reason is that excellent architects and wonderful sculptors, they work to give these great monuments that even today we admire, and is the beginning of what we say Western architecture. It was heard from the top of this rock, the voice of St. Paul speaking to the Athenians, to the first Europeans. This is the year 51 AD. What Paul did, it was great. Because here was a Supreme Court of Athens, and defend himself in the front of the Supreme Court of Athens. And after his speech, the very first Christian in Europe that is accepted by Protestant, Roman Catholics, Greek Orthodox, it was the president of the Supreme Court of Athens.
Okay. Here's Mom, resting after her walk up the hillside. Here. I'll get him. Let me just get a panoramic view of this. Gail? Yeah, just incredible.
You can't get up there, Mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay, we're in Athens.
Okay. We're in Athens. We're on top of Mars Hill.
And this is where
This is where St. Paul preached to the Athenians about Christ. He explained to them about the unknown God they had wondered about. And that's the Acropolis in the background, which was the political center of Athens in ancient times. And here we sit.
Here we sit. Mom and Gail.
Yeah, right.
We want you to stay with us for the rest of the trip.
Okay.
Anybody fall over yet?
Hey, I'm not. Now I'm going to pan around. Athens is on 7 hills, and we're going to see 3 of them here. Behind us, so the wrong place. For the rest of the city, it's exactly the right place. While we're panning across here, talk about Mars Hill. That's where, when Paul came to Athens, the Athenians had wondered about the unknown God, the gods they had from some others, satisfying with God. They called him then the unknown God, and Paul came and told them that came to tell them about that unknown God. In that process, judge of the Supreme Court, as we would understand it, came to Christ, and he declared then that was a valid thing to do. So this, to some degree, is the birthplace of Christianity in Western Europe, and what we refer to as the West, because obviously Greece is the West, the Holy Land, and Babylon, and Egypt, all that is known as the Old.
So do you see Mom down there? One of the hierarchies is helping Mom down here. Isn't that nice?
Was the name of the hill has taken his name, and they call it Folkerson. Before that, the name of the hill, it was the hill of the Muses. I don't know about the Greek mythology, the 9 Muses, that each one of them was symbolized at different arts. And today, when we say museum, all over the world, means the house of the Muses. Because inside the museum were items of art. So this is the house of the Muses. And when we say music, musica, music, music, is the song of the Muses. So, but from the moment of this man, the hill, from the hill of the Muses, changed to Philopolis. It's one of the 7 hills of Athens. Now, next to this, I like to show you this thing in here. Because in this place, it was a small shrine for the goddess of Aphrodite, Venus. But later, in the early Christian period, they make a small shrine for the early Christians. And they put the symbol of fish. And as you know, the first symbol of the Christians was not the cross, was the fish.
This is the Acropolis from a different view. I'm going to show you a picture on the book of what it would have looked like. I don't know if you can see that. It's facing more like this, but anyway, that's a picture of what it would have looked like originally. And now we're looking at it now. See on the very top where it says picture 8? Number 8 right there. Okay. That is what you see on the very top of the hill. And where's Mom? There she is.
My knee fails.
Yeah, well, we'll leave just a little bit before everybody else. Wow. And then you'll see a red dot.
Yeah.
Got it?
Okay. There's Gail having a Coke. No, you're Coke. Showing
The water.
book from
Hello.
Greece. And this is a beautiful view. I can't believe. I wish all of you would be here. Oh, great.
The Vice Minister of Japan is up there. That's why there's all the security and the policemen. 1776 BC, and it's called the Panathenaic. Oh, where does this? Oh, there it is. Thank you. There it is.
So maybe that doesn't mean 17.
Yeah, that's true. They had the first Olympics here. What else, Mom? What else did we learn? It's completely made of marble. Isn't that amazing? They did try to get the Olympics here for 1996, but Atlanta won. Okay, go ahead. Go do it.
Laid out by Circus.
Circus. Okay.
In the 4th century BC.
Okay. Yeah? Anything else, Mom? Should I just point it towards them?
No, wait.
Now we'll stop.
Well, it might be because that Japanese guy is here. This is the palace. I think the Minister of Japan is visiting now, by the looks of all the security at the end of the street. And there's the guard. And there's Mom.
People walking on the...
They're telling him to leave. They don't want him on that side of the street. I don't know why those boys can do it. Focus. I can't. Can I sneak in here, please? Is that all he's doing? Oh. Must be changing of the guards, because I can see one down there, and then there's this guy. Looks like they're going to take a while to get there. I don't think we have time for this. Oh, I should stay there. Oh, they are. Yeah. are really big. I lost her. She's looking for me. She'll see me. Here we are.
Second one is the administration of the university. The schools are outside the city. And the third one in the right is the National Library.
This is the National Library right here. It's beautiful stuff. Mom's doing what she does best. Well, this is kind of the expensive district, but we went to the flea market yesterday and we thought we'd just check this out and see what there is. Hey, what's the name of this restaurant? This is called Grotto's and it's nearly across the street from the Hilton. It's a cute little Italian restaurant. Mom's really excited about that. Good. What was yours again? I forgot. I'm gonna bring it. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Great. Okay, you can walk this way now. It's very dangerous.
And then you have to stop here.
Where are we going, Mom?
Corinth.
Well, we've been in the bus for 30 minutes, so
Almost an hour, haven't we?
has it been that long? These are one of the few houses we've seen. Most of the people seem to live in apartments. We're getting too much sleep. That plane you see there has been dropping off military parachuters. It's dropped about 3 loads of 10 each. And this is the, whoops, agency? AEG.
Yeah.
Okay, agency.
The national products of Greece. In any other place you go all over the world, you'll not eat feta and you'll not drink ouzo unless if they have been imported from Greece.
Isn't this incredible? This is the Corinth Canal. They would have to sail around seas that would take them a long time, so they, after 3 tries over centuries, they finally succeeded in 1882. And it ended in 1893, and I'm going to show you a picture of what it was like under construction. This is what it was like under construction, and this is what it is now. Isn't that amazing? The other sea over there. We only have 20 minutes, so we don't have too long. There she is.
No.
No, I don't really want to look.
I can't get it. How do I do it?
Well, I can get you. Except you keep moving out of the way. So what's the name of this canal?
Corinth.
Yeah.
Corinth.
Isn't that incredible? Look how far down that goes. Whoa. Can you see that? Woo. That'd be quite a job. But it saved them hours, I mean not hours, I should say days, coming around from one sea to another. As you can see right straight ahead, there's a canal, there's land, and there's a canal. I wanted to tell you the reason why they were so nervous about making this canal is because the sea levels from one sea to the other were different, and they had no idea what was going to happen once they opened that gap in between. This is the city of Corinth. This is ancient Corinth.
All the gardens are full of roses and carnations and bougainvilleas. Yes, and some grapes. That's why all the trees are full of fruits.
Yeah. Cute. Yeah, it's a cute house.
Here we are. This is the exit of the site. To your left, we'll go all around.
Corinth, ancient Corinth, or rather when the very first inhabitants of Corinth came here in 3rd millennium BC, they were first established at the top of this mountain there, which is called Acropolis. Yesterday you visited Acropolis, and you know the word Acropolis, the meaning of the word Acropolis, that it means the highest point of the city. Acron, from acrobat or acrophobia, it means the top, the highest point, and polis means city. So Acropolis in 3rd millennium BC was the Acropolis of ancient Corinth. And as I told you, when the very first inhabitants of Corinth came here, they were first established at the top of Acropolis, because at the top of Acropolis there was a natural spring of water. This was the problem of Greece since the antiquity till today, the water. And the people used to be established in places where natural springs of water existed. So later, a few years later, they built a city at the foot of the hill of Acropolis, and at the top they built a wonderful temple which was dedicated to goddess Aphrodite. According to the Greek mythology, goddess Aphrodite was the goddess of the beauty and of the love, of the feminine beauty and of the love. And it is said that in this temple of goddess Aphrodite lived about 1,000 priestesses. Ancient Corinth in 6th century BC was a very powerful city, a very rich city, and it was the great competitor of ancient Athens. Universities of Greece or of Asia Minor. Let's not forget that the wife of Pericles, the leader of ancient Athens, was a prostitute, Aspasia. So the Greeks thought that if I can discuss with someone, if I can please my mind with someone, why not to please my body with you? That's why we have the homosexuality in Greece as well. So prostitutes, a lot of prostitutes here lived here. Some of them, and the most famous was Lais, who won of Julius Caesar. And because when we go further down, you'll see that at the top of Acropolis there are the remains of a fortress. This fortress dates in 13th century. I mean, I don't know, but not like it was during the antiquity. During the antiquity it was complete. All the men had a boyfriend. All of them. Socrates, Plato, all the Greek philosophers had a boyfriend. They had a wife as well. But the relationship they had with the boys, with the young boys, was completely different. It's in this site date in 1st and 2nd century AD, and all of them belong to the Roman market, except the ruins of that temple there. These 2, 4, 6 and plus 1, 7 columns, monolithic columns made of porous stone, belong to an original Greek temple which was built by the Greeks when the Greeks were here, not the Romans, in the year 555 BC. It took about 5 years to be completed, 555 till 550, and the temple was in primitive style, of course, and it was dedicated to god Apollo. God Apollo, according to the Greek mythology, was the god of the sun, of the education, of the music, of the culture. It is where the rest of you, the rest of the group, is going today, to the sanctuary of god Apollo at Delphi, the other side of Greece, central Greece. The temple was not destroyed by the Romans. That's why till now is well preserved. At least the seven columns is well preserved if you think that the temple was built in 6th century BC, and it is one of the very primitive temples we have. Now, again, in front of us, you can see there remain some rocks, let's say one on the top of the other block, and that one, an arch there. All these ruins belong to shops, which were one next to the other. it seems that the shops were very small, and it seems that the people like to expose everything outside, like today happens in Plaka. I don't know if you were in Plaka. Okay, today they do it on purpose because of the tourists, small shops, and they expose everything outside, but it is a tradition, let's say, or it has been a church, a Christian church. That's why today we have this arch there, because the biggest shop had been converted by the Christians to into a church. Pine tree, huh? Yes. Further down, we'll see, we'll see 3 or 4 more. Whenever they wanted to honor someone, they made the statue, the body, and they put the head over the body. Whenever this person died, they took out the head and they put another one, using the same body.
This statue that you see in the ground, the Romans would build statues and have replaceable heads so that when that person would die, they could just put another head on it. A lot less expensive, very clever. There's another statue.
The bima where St. Paul was standing, and bima is something like platform, let's say.
St. Paul stood there.
Originally, I mean, in the Roman period, where we are standing now, there were no buildings. It was a square where the Romans or the people who used to come to the market stood whenever a Roman general or someone important made speeches, making speeches to them. So St. Paul was standing at the bema, at the platform there, and from there was preaching the new religion, and we know that he was there where he was tried by the Jewish community. Later the Christians built a very small chapel, a very small church at the top, which now is completely destroyed. Here you can have a wonderful view of all the Acropolis and of the remains of the Frankish fortress of the 13th century AD. The people during the antiquity or now? Now you can go up to the top by a car.
But I mean, back then, I mean,
there was a path, yes, there was a path. And we are talking about 3rd millennium BC, or 15th century BC. We do not know exactly.
St. Paul.
But they climbed, they walked. They had no other choice.
There used to be a fountain here, Fountain of Kari.
A very rich and complicated mythology. We have many myths, many legends, and I said to my clients yesterday that the Greeks created all these myths whenever they wanted to explain something that they couldn't explain it logically. So the fountain, the name of this fountain was Pyrene. The Greeks were thinking, why Pyrene, why Pyrene? So they created this legend that Pyrene was a woman who had 2 children, one is a boy and a girl. And all the day kept saying to her friends that my son is better than the son, or is more handsome than the son of Lithos. The son of Lithos was god Apollo. Left side of the visitor, and the fountain of Pyrene. If you want, you can have a look at the fountain of Pyrene.
We are going into the Fountain of Pyrene. Well, this is really nice. What are those little rooms over there for, though?
Nothing. They were arches, and the water, if you go closer, you might listen to them.
Oh, okay. Oh, I bet this was magnificent. In the book.
Very nice.
Oh, that's fabulous.
The people, sometimes they supplied water from there, from those.
Wow. This was not a swimming pool. It was a pool filled with water, but people did not swim in. What are you laughing at? People did not swim in it. It just, when you wanted to have some peace and relaxation, you would come here. There used to be marble benches, such as those right over there, going all around it. And it was covered at the time, but this was just a really nice place to relax. And there's no broken ankles, hips in good shape. It's still coming from the mountain. Can you hear the water? This is the toilets that they used.
With Beth and Jane.
Look on your face.
Jane, take that chair for me. Come back and sit down.
Good grief. Look Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
That's the gutter.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, well this is the street along here.
That's the gutter.
This is the road. Let me see. The road is called Lake Hyan Road.
Okay.
There it is. Not a real long road, but they just have all these ruins sitting around. It's quite interesting. I was told that. I asked if they were still finding ruins, and the gentleman had said, yeah, there's so many of them, and there's no place to put them, that they just rebury them and wait for a time when there is a place to put all the ruins. Isn't that amazing? Dun, dun, dun. We're in Athens, back in Athens now, going up the street towards the flea market. You can see all the businesses on the side of the road. They just have most of their stuff out front. There's not a lot of room inside the store, so they just bring it out. It's all the motorcycles. Pedestrians do not have the right of way around. Come on.
So here, you who want to go to places.
Zero, I believe.
This architecture over there, I'm not quite sure what it is.
Brazil won the World Cup.
We're on our way to the airport now. As you can see, there's
also Americans play extremely well and well.
That's soccer team. It's where they had the World Cup.
On back of the bus, left hand side forward, it's already the Piraeus, which grew up enormously.
Train buzzing by. Here comes one. We're at the port of
With
Piraeus
all
now.
this hundreds of boats and ferries
and cars. It's kind of looking for mine. I mean, our ship that we're going to sail on, but I have no idea where it is. We go to Italy.
Also, there is another port of Greece on the west called Patras. From there you take the daily ferry to Italy in the morning and at night. You can put your car on it and drive, or you get the Patras by train and then get on a ferry, get off the other side in Brindisi, south east Italy. Take a train and can go to Rome or anywhere else you want. Train. The most famous that's in Europe now, and everybody's trying to copy it, is this TGV, the Train Grand Vitesse, the train of the great speed, which is used in France more and more, and cut down the traveling from one point to another point to nearly half the time. The money
building,
out.
I have no idea what it is, but sure is pretty.
Close as possible so you don't have to walk in the rain.
I wonder if that's it right there, Mom, straight ahead. We are getting ready to go into the ship in the port. My film.
This afternoon, Yanis, you'll meet your colleague Yanis at 2 o'clock this afternoon in the Serenus
We
Lounge.
haven't left yet, obviously.
All TWA guest passengers that you'll meet with your colleague Yanis at 2 o'clock this afternoon in the Serenus Lounge. Thank you.
And Mom hiding her face again.
I'm here.
This is nice. Smile. You're on candid camera. No, that's all right.
What is it, Greek? Open the thing, yeah. Thank you.
I don't know. no place to put them, so they bury them back up till they can find someplace. Well, we're on our way. I don't know what time it is.
My stomach.
No, you're not. Are you really? Oh my gosh.
I was before I got on the ship.
You were? It's probably from last night's dinner.
I bet it was.
Gosh. But it's really calmed down and the seas look really nice. Hey, we're being escorted out. Mom's got her life jacket on. Wait, I gotta focus here. There we go. So pretty.
I like to get it off. Oh, these are old ones.
Uh-huh.
Godkänt av sjöfarts.
These are the
approved by the sea directors of Sunnmøre Life Jacket Company in Larvevåg, Norway.
She's reading something on her. She can still read Norwegian. That's great. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Where's the sjöfarts? Beth and Jen.
I don't know. We are inside
They should be on the same,
lounge. They should be here. We're inside the lounge, getting our regulation instructions on if there's a accident. Should I tell him what you just told me, Mom?
Huh?
Should I tell him on the video what you just told me?
No, don't you dare.
Why not? Hey, we're coming into Mykonos. I need to know your name now. Cute little quaint town.
Island like that?
Oh, no, but I think for just a couple weeks. We're coming into the port of Mykonos, and it's like 4:30, and we're only going to be here till 9. But whenever we speak to someone about where to go, everybody just loves this place.
We probably go, because it's windy, we probably go to one port instead of another. Well, there's something they said about when it's real windy.
Yeah.
We dock another place that we are supposed to dock.
Pack like sardines. Where are we going? Mykonos? Mykonos. Hey, I'm going to the island of Mykonos. I don't know where you're going. Gosh, and this is where we're going. Out there somewhere. That's okay, she's right here, yeah. Here we go.
We made it.
Get the porthole in.
Look at this.
Hello.
It's pretty close there.
Turn around and get this ship, would you, Brad?
Another ship.
are in Mykonos now, and it's raining and it's thundering.
Cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs, and it is so cool. We're on this little pathway that leads up to... You look like you're having fun. Isn't this great? Let me turn around here. No. See, there's the ocean out there. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, yeah.
We're still on the street, and I just wanted to show you this cute little restaurant. These people are probably going to wonder why
We're doing it
out.
too fast.
Well, I have to. It's raining. I'm out in the rain. You forgot about me already.
Why?
You wouldn't? Oh,
Because that's too big for me to go.
Mom's worried about her shoes. $60 shoes are going to get ruined in the rain.
Well, the water's coming down pretty heavy.
She walks away with the umbrella. Okay, I won't get it wet. I smell something good. There's something in the lens. It's a cute little restaurant up here. See, they live up here and their shops are down here, and there's Mom. See, this is Mom. We've come all the way to Mykonos in Greece, and this is what she's gonna buy. A can of Coke Light.
Oh my God, a can of Coke Light.
What?
What time?
The last one goes back at 9. Is that bracelet in there? The one I was looking at? Well, once again, you see those beautiful lights up there? This is the neatest little town, and I wish I could come back and stay for about a week. And there's Mom. She's always digging into her purse. She's always losing something. We are going to be the last on the bus again. We thought we were going to be leaving early. You what? Oh gosh. Gosh, I was just telling Dad and Dave that we're going to be the last on the bus again. This is the strip mall in Mykonos.
And we're sick.
We're hungry. It's 8:45 at night. We haven't eaten since noon.
Taking a bus.
I just got you. Okay, I'm going to turn around. Everybody take a right corner turn. Oh, this is great. Okay, can you see the seas out there? Actually, this is much better. Look at this man. Oh, look at this poor guy up here. He's just getting drenched. Oh, yeah, that's true. Look at these wild seas. This is unbelievable. Is that our ship over there?
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding. I don't think so.
Don't take my picture.
It's so attractive. This is like East Germany, Mom.
This is a cool. Oh my God. You remember East Berlin?
Oh, yeah. I'll be right inside. This is wild. Mom, go ahead and go. I'm going to take some pictures here of these waters. Look at this. This is what we're going to sail on tonight. I will.
Oh my heavens.
People are going up on the plank. Go ahead and go, Mom. Go ahead. I'll be there. Do you want me to hold your purse? Mom, do you want me to take your purse? Mom, do you
I don't think she hears you.
I don't think so. Mom's going up the plank. Somebody's helping her, thank goodness. Oh, good. I get to see a thing over here. Alright, I guess it's my turn. Can you believe this? Looks like quite a fortress. There's a castle up on the hill. So I fall off the ship. We're all just waiting to disembark to take the
He went in and then back.
trolley over to.
Have a bus go crash or something?
This is a little confusing. I don't know what I did, but it's working.
Van just went out.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's working now. Well, we're sitting here. We were the first on the bus and we're the last to leave because they're trying to fix the intercom system. Why he just doesn't talk loud, we haven't figured out yet.
To the sunny island with a beautiful cloudy weather today of roads. What can you say? You start first and you are the last.
I'll choose the other bus.
He has nothing to say now.
The Mediterranean, as far as Greece is concerned, at least, I'm not talking about areas of France or Italy, but a medieval city combining three different cultures, more or less. Eastern culture with mosques and other Ottoman buildings. From the period of the Knights, the Grand Master's Palace and all the houses, including the ramparts, as you see, all of it around, is the largest of the 12 islands. 12 means dodeca, which is the Dodecanese, it is called in Greek, Dodecanisa. The administrative center of the 12 islands, the largest and the most important. Rhodos is the name of the pomegranate fruit, the flower and the fruit, pomegranate. It is actually the season now for pomegranates. On the southeast area of the Mediterranean Sea, with a group of islands, altogether 18 inhabited. The 12 are the largest, in the middle of the island almost.
This is where we're going. It's located in the middle
almost
of the island.
about 55 kilometers from here, on an interesting promontory with two harbors and a very beautiful place.
The others are way ahead of us.
Kilometers, and has a population of nearly 90,000 inhabitants. The city itself has, of course, attracted most of the population of the island. Unfortunately, several villages almost emptied in the last 20 years or so, when tourism has grown up and has become #1 industry. In other words, Rhodes is the place, the city, with 45,000, nearly 50,000 inhabitants now, and the rest in the city.
Shoot. The island mythologically.
Is known to have been inhabited by the Cadmus, a king from Egypt, on his way to Thebes, the city of Thebes in Greece, of course, not the Thebes of Egypt. Actually, he built the city of Thebes, inhabited since Neolithic times.
Just kind of tailgating.
Did not have that much of land, and not very prosperous land, except only one section, which I will show you, the area of Malona and Massari. In Zambika church, there is a miraculous icon, and people, as long as we're going slowly up, it is dedicated to Our Lady Virgin Mary, of course, and Zambika is the local name. There are two theories about the name, and of course, on the other hand, about the icon, which is a miraculous icon about women who cannot have a child if they walk barefoot on to the top of the mountain and strongly believe into this, of course. It's a matter of faith. #1 is the faith, nothing else, if you believe in such a thing. So that miracle has worked. And, well, if you may believe it or not, but almost 50% of the Rhodians, men, the male carry the name Zambikos, and the female carry the name of Zambika. It's worse. This is Archangelos, Archangel village. Archangelos with a medieval little fortress. The best ceramics in the island, and it is well known that the Rhodians were great ceramists. ceramicists, let's say, or mountain, as with the Epirus mountain, which is the highest in the island, was inhabited by in the ancient times, and at the very top of the mountain there is an ancient cemetery, a small blessing there, of course, where Zeus, the father of the gods, worshipped, the father of Athena also. Unfortunately, we cannot see Acropolis, it's within the clouds. Yes, it is Masari further down, and Haraki is the little by the sea. It's in the middle almost, you know, near Lindos. Lindos is right opposite. You can see the white houses if you look straight ahead, or 1 o'clock, let's say, or nearly 1 o'clock from here. You can see behind this bay is Lindos. Lindos, where we're a few minutes time.
A lot of damage we're looking at from the flood they've had the last couple of days. They've had rain since April. And the last 3 days they've had the worst flood. That road there, huh?
With the foundation of Alexandria, the new city in Egypt by Alexander the Great, the city of Rhodes, who have very important connection, let's say, and exchanging goods with Alexandrians. Of course, the Greeks of Alexandria, the Greek-speaking people all with there. And after the death of Alexander, the epicons that say Ptolemy's got the area of Egypt, and Alexandria was the...
These were 4 foreigners that must have been killed.
In Antioch, the Seleucids, with Antigonus and the others, the kings, Antigonus with the one eye and the Antigonus Propator, and the Attalids in Atalia and Pergamum later on, the kings of Pergamum.
This road.
Is this where it had 4 people? Oh.
It wasn't built properly, let's put it this way.
We're not too far from Lindos now.
You see that little car? You see that little car over there?
Oh.
This is where they, you know, this flood, I mean, pushed them all the way up.
Terrible.
Terrible, absolutely terrible.
That's too bad.
Byzantine and the period of
Medieval fortress over there. There's ruins all over the place. Just
was unsuccessful.
Mediterranean Ocean. See anything?
By 678, one of the sons of Heraclius and Caliph Muawiyah, for 30 years peace treaty, and was that the first harbor, the major harbor of this little village, and a tiny one on the other side. We're approaching Lindos, as you see. It's about 10:20. We'll be down there in a few minutes' time. I don't know if they'll let us see quite a few buses down there, and it's going to be difficult. I hope you have umbrellas and you...
I had to stop and find a phone card. So I'm just now catching up to Mom. What a trooper. How are you doing?
Oh, 911.
Now wave, you gotta wave. I think I can, I think I can.
The loot, the money that they were off after the battles and so on, was given to the leaders. Was always, as a great offering. The Christians do the same thing for Virgin Mary, for saints. They have St. Nicholas, for example, the sailors. They go. You go to the Greek church and you see below the icons numerous little things of gold and silver. And sometimes they come with little chandeliers, icons. Either a good trip that, let's say, have given them a good profit, a percentage goes to the god or to the goddess of the ancient times.
This is dated from 200 BC. It's a ship dedicated to the god Athena.
The etc. was a little place, of course.
We got a limestone.
The statue on the back of the niche, and then probably items, offerings to be placed around, just in that little place over there. In the late Hellenistic period.
Showing us what it looked like.
At the very top, you can see number 1 is the little temple of Athena. At the very top. In front of that temple, the propylaea, means before the gates. From the propylaea, there's only the foundation. The temple exists, we'll see the temple. And before that, there is this long portico. This long portico, it is a construction of the late 3rd century, about 220 or 200 years, about something like that, with an artificial terrace again in front of it, giving enough, a great space, of course, for the comers, for the people who come up there, for the pilgrims, as well water reservoirs and so on, and rooms on the back for the votive offerings in this great store. These are the 3 major buildings on the Acropolis, besides the walls, the ramparts. But the walls are from the, as I said, from the period of the Knights.
Statues at the entrance to this.
Dungeon. Are you going to use that thing here?
Still waste.
Well, incredible view. Mom stayed behind because the stairs were pretty slippery today. Even the donkeys can't come up, they said. See.
You'd be dead.
To be here for
911.
Spend 1 hour. You know, it's impossible to stay here for a few minutes now. It's too hot. Well, now almost, let's say, anyway, standing on the level of this store, the last building built by the ancient Greeks, of course, I'm talking about the classical times. The store is this long building going to the other end. You can't see the other, only one column, of course. It's like the letter P. It has a long line with about 60 meters the length of it, and altogether with the rooms on the outside, about 90 meters. With 42 columns altogether. This is the typical Doric columns. The stoa or portico, stoa is the Greek word, serves a purpose. Sometimes can be a place for music. For example, in Olympia there was a stoa called the Stoa of Echo. It's a place for placing the votive offering in certain rooms, and also for relaxation for a while, at least before the pilgrims approach, let's say, proceed to the actual sanctuary, the temple of Athena. The material is all of it, local. It is this fossilized sandstone, you can see, and there is a continuous restoration taking place here. Because this sandstone, you can understand easily, with the weather we have over here, the high heat and not cold weather, but this rain, because the rain causes the problem afterwards, after the heat and when it rains, to the propylaea and to the actual temple. There is a reason for this. They didn't want to block what was, let's say, to be behind to be seen by the philosophers of that time were definitely
Must have been incredible. This is where the pilgrims would come to praise the goddess of Athena and to find peace. Apparently the Acropolis is at any major town, and it's like a temple to the gods. I thought there was just the Acropolis, but that's not the truth. There's one that's more popular than the other. Mom is down the steps. I'm going to walk over there and see if I can see her over the brick wall there. This really must have been something to come here and throw statues all over and walk up these gorgeous steps and see this temple at the very top. It must have been quite a sight to see. And they're in the midst of construction, so it would be interesting to come back in 10 years and see where they're at. Because as you can see, they're putting this together now. It's limestone and it kind of falls apart when it rains, so they're trying to put it back together and restore it. But I think for as old as it is, it's done very well. The guide was saying that when this is, it's been 100 degrees quite often this summer. And when it is, people come up here and they can only stay a couple minutes because it is so hot. I'm going to walk up and see what's over here. This brick wall was built during the Knights era. Whoa! Look at that gorgeous little harbor over there. Sorry, Mom can't see this. Breathtaking. There's a cave up there. I wonder who's been in that. They could see any ships that are coming in for miles and miles and miles around. Look at this. I'm just walking among these ruins. It's just unreal to me. Like I've mentioned before, they've had these torrential rains, and you can see down here in this, maybe you can see down here in this little harbor, it looks like a little boat was just swamped with water. Did lots of damage. First time since April they've had rain, and it's been the last 2 and 3 days. And we're here. Make sure I've got everything.
Oh, now I got it on.
You can still on. Or to go on. Okay. There you go, it's on.
Okay, here is
Mykonos.
No.
Come on, it's okay. It's okay.
We're on a documentary. I better turn my camera on.
Hey.
Let's see what we're saying.
Just like real TV. I said it already.
We're interviewing.
This is the town of
Wait a minute, start
over.
over.
No, Lindos. No.
Yeah, Lindos.
And what happened in Lindos?
Well, we don't know.
Apollo Pythios, with his personification as Pythios Apollon, who slain the dragon in Delphi to purify the area and establish his own oracle at Delphi. So the same god worshipped here under the same personification as Pythios Apollon. And further down to the area where the Grand Master's Palace is, was another temple there dedicated to Apollo, Ilios. Ilios means sun, the sun god Apollo. And Pythios Apollo here. Every 4 years, the great Pythaia festival, Pythias festival, worshipped and was taking place in the area of the Acropolis. Just below the temple, which is in Doric order, was 6 by 13 the columns, east to west orientation, excavated by the Italians, and you can see what is left from the northwest corner of the peripteral. A music hall, in other words. Odeon is the Greek word for music hall, and with just a small capacity, of course, of seats. You have about 800 seats, and facing south, just next to that Odeon, there is a great stadium of Rhodes. A stadium of 200 meters with starting and finishing point, of course, and all the running, let's say, contests. Long porticos of the gymnasia and the wrestling areas, having the length of a stadium, the inscriptions that have been found
Where they
here.
used to be trained is down there.
In these stadiums, and if you like to walk a little bit in the rain, prepare yourselves to see the Grand Master's Palace.
Oh, I know, but then I said, now we can go. We're going into the old city walls of ancient roads. This is like a moat around it. It's pretty neat.
Stone, like this sandstone, not sandstone, the lime, the granite, the limestone, the very strong one. They make these round ones with a tiny hole in the center. You know, you join the two of them and go around to break these. This is the old type.
One of 7 gates, and the doors closed at night.
Open, as they say, and the city itself, more or less inhabited by this, up to 7,000 inhabitants in those days. Today house about 3,000. Was not a small place, you have to understand that, and was quite a very important center in this part of the world for over 200 years. Well, what the knights found over here, let's say, they enlarged it. They built new fortresses. They opened a new moat, because the moat much larger. You noticed how big this moat is here, in width and all around the city, 4 miles all around. So these impregnable walls were never destroyed. By treason, eventually they were taken. Well, treason, and then you can move a bit closer.
Hello.
Although, well, we have the cars because there are people who live in the city. So it's myself, I have to get out sometimes. So, the Knights of St. John were Europeans, belonged to 7 different ethnic groups, and they were followers of the Crusades. The Crusaders were basically following the routes towards Jerusalem. That was the reason from the very beginning, the first and the second crusade, to the very end. The last crusade, the fourth crusade, was the period when Constantinople was occupied by the Crusaders in 1204. It is that time, actually, with the last crusade, that they followed the Crusaders, and they stepped and established themselves in Accra. Accra, of Palestine then, Israel today. There they built the fortress, of course, and following the purpose, which was basically charitable and to look after the pilgrims visiting the Holy Land. They had, the first priority was the hospital, as known as hospitalers themselves, as they did over here. The Hospital of St. John, St. John the Baptist was the patron saint of the order. And of course, later on, the fortress, other public buildings, and so on and so forth. They spend in Jerusalem, in Accra, the 14th century, were thrown out by the Arabs, and they were first settled in in Cyprus, in Limassol, in Colossae and so on. They spent there about 50-60 years. Simply, I mean, you have to understand that all the other people were messed into the 14th century.
Once again, this is the palace in Rhodes. They had knights here. There were never more than 600 knights, and most of them, anyway, the knights they were really wealthy, and they had usually, they had land, and then they had the Crusaders that used to fight for them, help them fight.
We're going this way?
Lovely little shops that we'll never see. Yeah, we're going this way, going to the palace. These great streets down here. It looks a lot like Rothenburg. It'd be fun to spend some time walking through here, but I know it's not going to happen today. Palace of the Knights.
Before this was built, it was at the same exact place the little palace, or I would say residence, the little palace of the Byzantine commander appointed by the Emperor of Constantinople to rule the Dodecanese Islands. So, in this little place, the very place, let's say, the Grand Masters will demolish that, they will build on top of it, let's say, using the walls of the Byzantine walls of the...
Said there's about 5,000 people that live here today, and there are 300 businesses or factories that are working right now.
Erase that picture. I'm gonna. I was thinking of my lip. It's getting bigger. I know what I look like because I have my mouth.
I couldn't take it. I
I hate you.
With Mom, so when she comes out, we both get to be on the tape. So be patient. Okay, here she comes. 1, 2. Anytime now, Mom. I'll be back with you in a minute. This one shows that it's half empty.
Huh? Huh? Are you taking it? Are you taking?
I haven't been on camera at all. Take a picture of myself. I didn't expect you to come out half undressed.
I'm coming out.
Ciao. We're just off the coast of Turkey. It's about 5:30 in the morning. I woke up to go back to sleep. And the ship has stopped, so we must be really close since we left port 4 hours earlier than we were supposed to last night. And it's a light drizzle. People are on board that are still sleeping. Of course, I'm not one of them. Today we're supposed to go to Ephesus, but unfortunately, there's another ship over there waiting to go to shore. And unfortunately, it's still raining. So I know Mom and I are tired of touring in the rain, so I'm not quite sure if we're going to go or not. This is the lobby to the, what would it be called, show area. These tags right here, when they took our passports and they took our tickets, so what they do is when we leave the ship, we take our number, and then when we return, we put it back up, and they know that everybody's on board. This is the gambling casino that they have on board. Look, there's one person away. Gambling casino they have on board the ship. This is another showroom that they have on one of the top decks. And of course the dance floor and the band area. This is one of their show areas, but because it's rained the whole time, this is one of the first times I've seen it. And this is the cinema. But they're showing movies like The Bodyguard, shows that we've seen like 3 years ago. It's a nice little theater. This is on the way to the reception area. We're also on this floor. It's a great floor to be on. And these are probably the only stores we have it hit between here and Athens. These people are waiting to get into the dining room to eat. They don't open up till 6 a.m. I was going to see if they would give me a plate to take back to Mom.
We're at Ephesus, I think is the name of it. Unbelievable city of the Romans. It is raining like crazy. Supposedly never rains here. Look at this highway of solid marble. More restorations taking place up here. Only 20% of the city has been uncovered and been put back in place. One of the largest cities other than the Roman Empire in Europe. This is actually the largest Roman city in Asia in olden times.
The sun is coming out over there.
Take a picture of that.
Please listen to me carefully. Again, from here, you're going to find the bus by yourselves. When you walk all the way down, in between these pine trees, you're going to get...
We're now on the island of Patmos. Cute islands. The first day we've had that we've gone to shore that it hasn't been raining. I don't know if you can see the water, but it's really blue. It's been just stirred up with mud before. It's really neat. It reminds you of East Germany, huh? Alright, here's the group. The fisherman, the Athens fisherman, his wife, and the newlyweds. It's our ship dock right down there. Looks right down there. This is the monastery. Let me see if I can find Mom in this crowd. Here she is. The bar.
So this church was built a little before.
54.
This is why it's an ecumenical church for all the Christian orders. All the Christian orders have a respect for this church. Ladies and gentlemen, something, because this piece of wood. You know, the country, for a long period, I mean, the population of the island, they were Christians.
Reminds me of Rome, dude. Oh, okay. This is all hand-carved wood right there. You see that?
Side, please.
Chandelier. Really pretty. The monks had their common sovereign. It's the common supper.
All island as a property to the church. When we say as a property to the church, I'm not saying I'm talking because it was not yet in this time the separation of the church.
Beautiful.
The church sells some.
There's a monk over here selling blessed crocheted crosses for $2 each. I would have got one, but I'm out of money. When Catherine II from Russia visited here in the 18th century, she gave the most prized possessions, and that's what she was wearing, and she gave all this jewelry to the monks.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Evangelismos, it means the announcement of the angel of Michael to Virgin Mary that's going to happen. The 9th century is the Stavrosis, it means the crossing. You see, the Greeks say Stavrosis. Jesus Christos, Jesus the Christ. And it's the moment when Christ says, Mother, this is your son John, because this is John. Next to him is a Roman soldier. On the left is Virgin Mary, and next to her is Magdalena. The blood is coming with a kind of emphasis, we call it, out of the body.
We're going into the cave that John the Divine was exiled for 2.5 years. Beautiful. We're on our way down. This is supposed to be the cave that John was exiled in. Of course, it didn't look like this when he was here, but I can't see anything.
Sorry. Please move inside and they make a little church in the entrance of the cave. And they gave the name of Saint Anne to this little church. Saint Anne, it was a mother of Virgin Mary. Santa Anna, as they call it. So this is a place where he was living. He curved the rock to have a rest with his head, make this thing to support himself to stand up, and this was the office. When he was standing here, was speaking to the young, because he was almost blind, the young one of his students, and it symbolized the Holy Trinity, that the God proved that whatever it was written, that it was the right thing.
Represents the Holy Trinity.
So this is the well-known cave, or the Grotto of St. John the Divine.
Go ahead, Tom, I might come ahead.
Got it up?
Oh, I can't drag you.
Isn't that beautiful? Such a quaint, quaint little town. What a trooper. Whoops, sorry.
Take a picture of you. There.